It was Texas, it was Tennessee.
Well, that's fitting.
It is. It is. All
Continue
right.
on.
Well, we'll take it from here, Soul Gravy.
Okay.
All right. Welcome in, folks. You are in a tornado warning. Take cover first, or at least Soul Gravy is. So we might not see as much of Soul Gravy tonight, but we're glad to have you here. Folks on YouTube, appreciate you. If you're on Facebook, we appreciate that as well. Tonight, we are incredibly fortunate to have our friend Kenny Feidler on. And welcome in, Kenny. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All righty.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're working on the editing. There we go.
Yeah, I was
And
trying to cover me up. Sorry.
that's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get rolling. First off, Kenny, if you don't mind just taking a couple minutes and giving us a little bit of your backstory.
Sure. I from Baltimore, Maryland. I got into rodeoing and ended up moving out west, Oklahoma, and that's kind of how I started writing songs. Rode bareback horses, and it was just a big part of my life for a long time. And so I started kind of penning songs about that kind of thing, and then over the years, it's kind of just developed into the full-time gig, and here we are, and been full-time for 5 years now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just curious before we get into the non-Soul Gravy quiz tonight. What was the movement to northwestern Oklahoma State? Sorry. How did that occur? Or I mean, because that's probably not the most typical
No,
path from where you came from.
no, definitely not. Well, I was wanting to go to a college that had a college rodeo team, and it was kind of I don't know, in that whole thing. I mean, back in those days, like the social media wasn't as big as it is now.
Sure.
So like my insight to all those schools and everything, I just didn't really know. And being from the East Coast, I just wanted to go somewhere out west, and so in my mind, it was either Oklahoma or Wyoming. So that narrowed it down to a few schools there, and I wanted a 4-year school. So it got narrowed down to either this Northwestern Oklahoma State, which is not affiliated with OSU, and University of Wyoming. And I just ended up in Oklahoma. Yeah. And it was great. Didn't really get much out of college, but the people that it put me around, life-changing kind of stuff. So,
For sure.
Yeah.
How was what's it like to move from Baltimore to Alva?
Like when I first did it, I loved it. When living in Maryland, like it was always felt like so crowded, and like I got into like the rodeo stuff through like Chris LeDoux's music, and like those songs like made me like homesick for like somewhere else that I hadn't been, and yeah, so when I first moved out there, it felt so wide open. Like the idea of having like space in between towns was a big deal. To have to drive hours to get to a city was awesome to me. I loved it. Cool. Yeah, and it's like Alva, it's not much of a town. It's a little small town, but it was just a new experience for me. Being around like city suburb area all my life, and then just moving out there, it just felt really new, and over the years, like I live in just outside of Rapid City, South Dakota now, and I love it even more.
Right.
But yeah, I just really craved like a different kind of life, I guess, and place to live, and yeah, I'm just fortunate. I kind of took a bunch of leaps throughout my life, like several different times, and wasn't really too worried about how it was going to shake out, but it kind of did.
Cool. Well,
So,
I know what you're feeling because I grew up in central Kansas. And so there's if you grow up near water, sometimes there's that calling of
yeah,
getting back close to water. But no matter where I go, I always kind of feel that I need that open space. There's certain things that kind of
yeah.
make me feel better. So I completely understand that. So very cool. All right. So this section is where we quiz Soul Gravy. He's not here tonight. So we're just going to name some folks from your hometown, which is Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit educational, I guess. So some of you will know all these, Kenny, but maybe not everybody else will. So I made a list of 10 folks. I tried to pick the most famous. Sad that Soul Gravy won't be joining us because he was like 1 for 6 last night. So
Oh
I
yeah.
think he would have done well tonight.
Yeah.
But we've got David Hasselhoff,
Really.
Hoff, Michael Phelps, Baltimore, yeah. Former guest on the Texas to Tennessee podcast is Josh Morningstar.
Yeah.
That was fun. Robin Quivers, co-host of the Howard Stern Show. It's from Baltimore. This would have been the one that might have tripped up Soul Gravy, but Cass Elliott
Oh yeah.
from the Mamas and the Papas. Frank Zappa, Muggsy Bogues, Tom Clancy, Thurgood Marshall, and Babe Ruth.
Yep.
It's a pretty solid lineup.
Yeah. Yeah. That's about the extent of. I mean, there's some in there that I didn't know of. I didn't know Hasselhoff was in there, but
Yeah, I didn't either.
I pretty much knew Babe Ruth, Zappa, and Cass Elliott.
There we go.
Mike Phelps. Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So this is the weirdest question. I think the weirdest question I'm going to ask tonight, but it kind of helps me, I guess, get my head around where you are musically and whatnot. So I'm going to give you a pie. It's a musical pie, but I want you to divide it up into 4 sections. And those 4 sections are songwriting, recording, performing, and then the 4th section is everything that goes into running your individual music business.
Yeah.
Where, I guess, which of those slices do you enjoy the most, or do you feel like you have maybe the most to give? And then how do you divide your time up in that pie?
I'd say songwriting is probably the most important. It takes it's not the biggest chunk of time, but it's like, I mean, if we were talking about a house, it's like kind of the foundation. I mean, without decent songs, nothing else really matters.
Right.
And then, and that's what I really pride myself. I mean, we have a rock and roll band, but I really pride myself on my songwriting and the lyrics. And then, the live show is so important. It feels like anymore, I've been fortunate enough to have like a large like streaming presence over the past 10 years, whether deserved it or not, well, I mean, I just mean like as far as effort put in.
Okay, gotcha.
And the last half of it, I mean, it's been all the effort, besides my family, it gets all my effort. And so like the live show, it's becoming like the more, I don't know, the longer I do this, the less like, I think I get a little disenfranchised with like the streaming and stuff. And it's still very good for us. We do way more than anyone could ask for. A lot of folks could ask for, and we kill for what we do for that revenue. But it just doesn't feel like I can't make as much of an impact as I can like with a live show. Like that's something that no matter what the platforms, how they change, who knows if Spotify is going to be around in 5 years,
Right.
like whatever.
Yeah.
And I know that the live show is real, and that's that's something that I have, that me and my band have a firm grasp on, and we can make a difference. You know, crowds, you can't, you hope to continue growing, but I can make it special, even if it's 5 people in the, I can make it worthwhile.
Absolutely.
And my band's awesome, and and I feel like our live shows reflect that work, and it shows that we care. I've probably swung and missed quite a few with like the recording process. Early on, it wasn't really more than just hitting the record button on with a PC mic, yeah, and it got the song. That's how it started. So I'm thankful for it. But
Sure.
but I've fumbled plenty of that, and luckily, it's still, the songs are still kind of there, even if they were in like very undeveloped forms, and it still ended up working out. But so I guess out of the pie, let's see. So the songwriting, most important,
Right.
and then the live show. I'd say recording process is probably like the smallest chunk. I enjoy it now. Our drummer, Tom Freer, has a Cottonwood studio. So even though we are going into a studio to do it, it's still very DIY as far as it's in-house.
Right.
And it's from my bandmates. We don't use studio musicians. It's just us.
What you see on the road.
Yeah, so it's still real. So that's gotten a lot better, and I enjoy it a lot more because I'm just comfortable working with my bandmates I play the shows with all the time. So the process isn't as daunting, and I feel like we prepare a lot more, and even just from like song creation and development, there's just so much more effort and time and care that goes into the songs now that it makes that recording process not like a bummer, to where it's the things are kind of tried and tested on the road, and yeah, for like sharpness and making sure that takes are good and stuff, that it's still very important, but and maybe it's not as shooting from the hip as it is on the road, but
Right.
it,
A little more polished.
yeah, it's more polished, and it seems to be an easier task. And then business wise, I've always had, even from like the get-go, I mean, we handle everything in house, really. I had management for 2 years, just to give it a shot, and there was good things that came from it, and then things that, like, I really pride myself in taking care of my own workload, and
Right.
And so business wise, we've always had a pretty good handle on the like merch, and doing things to make money on the road, and to make it profitable, and we operate like a business. For as much fun as it is, we leave. So we're playing in Portland tomorrow night, and we just left my house 2 hours ago. I'm stopping here in Gillette, Wyoming, to pick up Kellen Smith, and we're going to drive through the night and go to Portland,
Yeah.
and play Portland, Seattle, and Post Falls, and then drive home Saturday night. Like, I'm very efficient about how we travel, and yeah, we're very proud of what we do. We try to. I feel like we operate pretty slim to where the margins actually work out for us. We're in a van, and I just got rid of the trailer last year, so I'm packing everything in the van just so I can travel a little more stress free, and not
Sure.
worried about dying on the road. And
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. So yeah, the business is a huge chunk of it, and not everybody can balance that stuff. Some people, are just straight artists. I feel like I've had my hand in enough um, little businesses of my own before I even started playing music that I've just always cared about the business the whole time too. So I'd say those three are the kind of the biggest, and then recording is kind of icing on the cake, really.
All right, that's a great
So
answer. Well, I will give you and your team a shout out and I know you're doing all of it or a huge chunk of it. Every interaction that we've had with you, and I think I even mentioned this in the little pre-bit that we did. We appreciate everybody who takes time to come hang out with us, but
oh yeah,
there's something. I mean, you can tell who the pros are and who are just kind of stringing it together and
sure,
trying to stay above water. So
yeah.
we appreciate that a lot. But maybe a little bit more on the process. I don't want to go too terribly deep, but seems like almost everybody has a little bit of a different approach on the songwriting side, and I know that some of you take a lot of pride in. Anything that's unique about your process or how you go about it?
Um, I mean, most of my songs are they're either things that I don't know that I've experienced personally, or um, I feel like I've had a decent knack at putting myself in other people's shoes, and I think part of being a good songwriter, not that I'm like, but something that's important to me is just being able um, to is just kind of listen to people talking around you, and hear those things that are kind of I don't know that can be striking, because there's only so many experiences one person can have, and I've had a really lucky life. I mean, my family's great, and I've had my home life's great with my family. Like I have dark songs for having such a good life,
Oh, that's cool. So you can
and
access that.
yeah. So I can find it, and sometimes I look to people around me and things that I think are important, and see what other friends are going through. But yeah, I've always just tried to write real stuff. There's been a couple things I've done here lately that have been different. I did this "Choking on the Wire" song, um, and it was actually something um, so like Ben Nichols has that "Last Pale Light in the West," which is the whole. It's all based on Blood Meridian, and so I'm a big Lucero fan.
Yep.
Ben's solo record turned me on to Blood Meridian, and I've never read it. I've listened to it, the Audible
Okay.
tape, the Audible tape is great. Like the narrator's awesome. Um, I've listened to it probably 6 or 7 times, and I've always thought like I really enjoyed the album he made out of that, and not to just rip off of that idea of like trying to pull those ideas, but I always just thought it was like this is such a heavy book, and I feel like there's there's other things there because Ben did such a character based thing
Right.
on that, and I just found like kind of a summary kind of thing of in the epilogue. I found some things that I thought were really striking, and um and I thought it was just such a like the symbolism and like just what a great metaphor for like the my take on the book and how like the West is ever shrinking and ever changing, and so that was like a first time thing for me as writing a song like that where it's something I'm not really attached to per se.
Pushing
Like,
the bounds a little bit.
yeah. So I really enjoyed that. And for the most part, like when I write stuff, I'll come up with, I'll have little lines or and it's kind of lame, but I use my iPhone and
Cool.
punch them down in the notepad, or if I have like melody or something, I'll record them on there. My voice memos, and then here lately, even had a couple that so like Casey Sheldon, our lead guitar player, Casey's a songwriter. He was a songwriter before he joined my band, and it's been so good for me to have you know, everyone in my band right now is stellar, and it's great to have people to bounce like different parts of the song, whether it's the musical part, and have people really take charge of their parts, and then also like I hit Casey up about song lyrically, if he thinks like, what do you think? Do you think this is like this is decent? Or and then I've had the guys bring some just music that's I don't really write a whole lot of songs music first, but
Okay.
have one or two that I have. So and we're in the process of finishing up a studio album for the summer. So
For this song. Okay, cool.
yeah. We did this live album at Buck's Bar in Venice, Nebraska. We just put that out like 2 weeks ago. Shout out to Bucks.
Absolutely.
A lot of crossover demographic here, I think, between your podcast and
Sure.
that place. But
Absolutely.
it was important for me to get a live album out and let people see, that it's not just like I have all those songs where it's just me learning how to play the guitar when I was in college that I've just recorded and super undeveloped, and then take it to how it's played now, a kind of better representation of what we do. So sorry, that was a really roundabout way of getting to that.
That's what we want to hear. So I had designated 20 minutes for you and Soul Gravy to talk about Lucero. But Soul Gravy, we're praying for you. He's currently held up. There's a tornado rolling through, so thoughts and prayers for Soul Gravy. But I do want to talk about the new album. If y'all haven't had a chance to check it out, please do. Live from Bucks, just released on the 21st, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. Yeah. So
yeah,
it's pretty fresh. 34 tracks. Impressive. I imagine that was a little bit of well, maybe it wasn't for you, knowing you, but was it tough to build that set list?
That's what we do every night.
Yeah.
So we, minus the 4 or 5, like I don't talk a whole lot during our shows.
Right.
We have Buck was so generous with his commentary and the mic crashes that we just thought
Didn't need to.
We keep it in there, and we kept that album pretty much it's pretty much unedited. I mean it's mixed, and,
Right.
and Tom did a great job of like Bucks is, if you don't know of Bucks in Venice, just outside of Omaha, it's a 150 person room.
Right.
and the recording feels like that. But it's crisp enough. It doesn't sound like we're playing in a stadium, because we're not. We're playing lovingly in a dive bar, and this is what we kind of do every night. And we just we don't try to play long shows for the sake of playing long shows. We've just got a lot of songs to play, and I just feel like I enjoy just giving when people take the time to come to our shows and travel. Folks will travel because we don't go everywhere, and we're trying to push out to different parts of the country. But I always just try to make sure we make it worth their time, and whether they want it or not, So we do 2.5 hour shows, and and we've started to do a little less. Normally we have an opener with us. It's one of our friends, or like Kellen Smith,
Right.
is like one of my favorite songwriters. He's going with us this weekend. Or Casey will open shows. But for the most part, we've kind of stopped doing a whole lot of having support and just cutting to the chase. And because you don't want to drag people through 3.5 hours of music, it's a long night. And so I try to find the balance between giving them all I can and not just beating them up. Yeah.
Well,
So
Matt popped in and said it was a hell of a time. So
Hey, Matt.
I imagine there are some of us that would be fine with the 5-hour show, but that's respecting your time too.
I'm not Bruce Springsteen. I don't have that, but I do have there's just a lot of songs that I like to do, and for it being, I think the live album shows us pretty good for it being a 2-hour thing. It's the energy doesn't really drop off a whole lot. I'm thoroughly worn out, and so is my band at the end of the night. And I feel like we do kind of pour it all out there every night. So,
well, it's fantastic, folks. If you don't already follow Kenny, make sure that you do. Go follow him on socials. Obviously, wherever you stream your music, hit that follow button. It's actually important. If they ask you to pre-save something, do that. All that stuff really makes a difference. I know it seems minute at the time, but it really is important. So that is appreciated.
Definitely.
So I've seen you twice. I saw you at the Mercury, and I saw you at Magnolia in Fort Worth.
Oh, okay.
And so I can verify.
Man, I feel terrible that I didn't make the connection at the time, I guess.
Oh, no, it's fine, man.
Did we talk about it?
I came up and said hi, and there wasn't a ton, but it's fine.
Okay.
Like I have a non-memorable face, so
No, not at all.
But I can verify in terms of the live show, it's phenomenal, and if you're anywhere close, make it happen and get there. I think since we have been talking about it and we're at halftime, we're going to go ahead and play a live version of Choking on the Wire. And Kenny, I'll ask you, if you don't mind, just to mute your microphone so we can get the best cut of this possible.
You bet.
And we'll be right back, folks. Give this a listen. Hang tight 1 second, folks. Thanks, Ogre.
Here's another mainstream classic.
Hear the creaking on wagons, long skulls go out collecting, spoils on the war on Mother Nature and her kind. Bleach white bones multiply, the sin still unforgiven. When they pick like some spoiled fruit that's withered on the vine. we know.
All right, back.
Yeah, sorry. There you go. Wow, big sound, big message too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's that one rips.
Thank
Which
you.
is what I've come to expect, but also, it is nice for everybody else, hopefully, to get to hear it as well.
You bet.
Trying to thumb through the comments. Hard to believe that sweet gentleman puts out a rockin' sound like that. It's so damn good. So shout
Thank
out
you,
to Cynthia.
Cynthia.
Yep, appreciate that. If you could take a little bit of time and just tell us about your band.
Yeah. So I have Casey Sheldon out of Idaho, playing lead guitar, and I kind of Hail Married, over the past 2 years, kind of had a bunch of band changes, and had this, most of the just guys like kind of cycling out that went back to the ranch, or the road got old.
Life.
And
Right.
yeah, so yeah, Casey Sheldon on lead guitar out of Idaho, and if you get a chance, go check out Casey's music. Got stuff under Casey Sheldon and the Home Wreckers, and
Okay, cool.
and then Tom Freer on the drums. And Tom has a recording studio, Cottonwood Studios, there in Rapid City. That's where we record now.
Nice.
And then Matthew Klein on the pedal steel, and Matt. So the longest member of the band now is our tour manager, Daniel Klein. So that'd be Matt's brother.
Gotcha.
So Dan's been with me the longest out of everybody, and then Tom, and then Maddie and Casey. I'm not sure. I think maybe Casey before Maddie, something like that.
Yeah.
And then the newest member of our band is Joey Rowland, and Joey's out of Grand Junction, Colorado. Okay. And yeah, I'm the worst guitar player in my band. My drummer. Yeah, so Joey had his own band also when he joined, and we met Joey at a festival last fall, and he was playing with another band, and I was just like, man, I can tell, like, Joey's the youngest out of all of us, and I was like, and this just seems like a really good person, and seems, I don't know, I just kind of got hit, like, asked Casey, I was like, should we just ask it? Because our bass player Jacob, he was with me for a long time. He moved back to he was going to be done the end of last year. Moved back to the ranch, and so we were kind of keeping an eye out. I was like, should we ask Joey if he wants to join the band, even though he doesn't? Bass is probably like his last pick of instruments to play, and yeah, and I've just been so thankful. Like, this band works so hard separately on their own, and what they do every night. Matt wasn't really playing steel super long before he joined the band, and he's just put so much time into it. And it's but yeah, Tom's a ripping guitar player, multi-instrumentalist. He plays the drums for us, even though it's not his first instrument. Joey, killer guitar player, can play steel. I mean,
yeah, that's...
I'm pretty lucky to have such a band of talented people, and they can all sing. Probably,
yeah, for sure,
a lot prettier than I can. But
well,
so yeah, we're really fortunate.
I think that as a casual fan, I think that is, or even, I don't know, like a serious fan, I don't know what you call them, but I'm somewhere in there. You don't spend a ton of time thinking about how everything comes together. And so that's a pretty basic question, but I do like it because it gives you an opportunity to, share some of the shine, the challenges of building a band, which is not the
Oh
easiest
yeah,
thing in the world to do.
and um, this band's such an egoless band, um, um, and like I'm not a for being a front man. I'm not a big spotlight guy. That's why we went through a phase where I used to have like used to call it Kenny Feildler and Cowboy Killers just because I didn't like my name just being the main thing. So
Understand?
it's the music's always been under my name, released under my name, but even touring wise, I would try to like separate, and then just for practical purposes, I just bill as my name now, and the band knows how much I care about them and how much I appreciate them and I think it shows in our shows too, just the
It
way.
absolutely does. If you go see a live show, I mean, there's absolutely zero question that this is one kick-ass band. So,
Thank you.
yeah, no, I'm not just saying that because you're here. I'd say that if you weren't. So, uh,
Thanks a lot.
I'm curious. You talked a little bit about this goes backwards a little bit into the songwriting, but do you have anybody who is maybe outside of the creation of the music that you go to when you have some new stuff and you want to try it out? Do you have a set of ears that you kind of trust, or they might not necessarily even be super musical?
My wife Blaine. I mean, she's such a big part of this. I mean, so my wife stays home with our boys. Our boys are 5 and 7,
Okay,
and
fun times.
yeah, no, it's great,
That's the best age.
and yeah, it's really great, and it takes a special partner to be able to share this, because it's not. I mean, that's why we try to do right by our spouses, everybody in the band, and we're not out partying and wasting time and we get home, we leave at the last moment we have to, and
Right. Get back as quick as you can.
boogie home, yeah,
Right.
and that's how we try to just keep that all in line. But yeah, I always want Blaine's opinion on stuff, and then like Kellen, I'll send Kellen stuff. I appreciate his songwriting takes, and so yeah, so we it's kind of a fairly closed thing. I
Yeah.
mean, because I don't really seek a lot of I don't know. The band and I were talking about this even last week. There's decisions in song creation that I don't really do it with the end game in mind. We have to be happy with it, and
Sure.
as a songwriter, it's got to mean something to me, and I really don't. You want things to be successful, and like this is a business, but also I don't. I care, but the list the listener isn't in mind really when make anything,
Right.
and it's not because we don't appreciate the people that listen to our music. It's just
Obviously, yeah.
it kind of it can kind of muddy the songs, if
Product,
it,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, if you start thinking if something's sellable, and that's why like in that Joking on the Wire right in the beginning I said another mainstream hit. It's just like this is something that's maybe a select few people would actually get what I'm talking about, or
Right.
even know the references. Well, the vast majority of people, it's going to be really weird, and
It's authentic.
it's okay to me. I don't mind, and there's I'm proud of what we do, and I'm satisfied. People ask me, like, what's the goals, and like the goals are for everyone in this band to make a good living, and
Right.
like I don't have any aspirations of like it feels really good playing to a big, a huge. We've done some support shows where it's been massive, and that feels really awesome, and it's hard to hard to go back to the bar.
For
and
sure.
But it's just never been like really something I've been like seeking. Like I don't want to get super. I don't want to be famous or I want to make a living and make real shit. you know.
Perfect.
And so yeah, that's I think what were we talking? What was the question? What was it?
Well, we were just talking about your band, and then we kind
Oh,
of went to why that's important, and just giving them some shine and whatnot. So
oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
that's how it goes.
Just the process where we were talking about how all of us are content with you always want to be striving forward to be better musicians, better songwriters, be better at your craft, but you're still there.
Time for the
Yeah,
quiz.
yeah. I'm not in Kansas. So.
but never uh all those other things are like side perks, where it's
Yeah,
the big the huge shows, like they're all great and we'd love to have, I could be completely satisfied we get to theater stage and sell, sold out shows in theaters. That's more than a guy could ask for, and even what we got now is more than a lot of people asked for. So I'm happy with where we're at, and if it could stay this way, I'm satisfied. um, as long as we continue to better ourselves at what we do.
yeah, absolutely. I'll share a real quick bit from a previous conversation that we had with Cody West, and he talked about so he did a live album at Billy Bob's, and sold out show, place is massive, right? And then the next night they go to Tyler, and like 13 people are there, literally the next night after selling out Billy Bob's, and so it can be humbling, I'm sure. But
Oh
uh,
yeah.
any of the opening gigs that really stick with you in terms of you talked about some big crowds and whatnot, but any of those that are worthy of chatting about?
Um, so Josh Malloy is we're on the same Ted Kraus from Wild River Talent. We're in the same booking agency, and a lot of my friends are in Josh's band. I'm friends with Josh now too, but
Okay, cool.
but we're kind of roster mates, and Josh has such a big following, and we're thankful they have us out on a bunch of their stuff, and so that's been really awesome
A
because
lot of fun
yeah,
crowds.
at this stage, like feel like we've hit the road so much, and you play to a lot of the same folks um, every time you come back through, and to make those leaps in like getting in front of new people and just a little bit more discovery, that's really important. So those shows have been great, and I think it was a year or two ago we got to open for Coulter Wall out at Denver at Mission Ballroom, and that was the biggest show I've ever done.
Shout out to Coulter.
Yeah, heck yeah, and Coulter's great, and so like um, that was awesome. I mean, it's a big crowd, you know,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and it's just it's so appreciative of those opportunities, and we tried to capitalize on them whenever we get them, and just make the best of it out of it, and yeah, it's not so much a feather in the cap kind of thing. It's more of a hey, you have an opportunity here to get in front of people that have never heard of you, and make them a fan in 45 minutes.
Yeah,
So I mean, there is barely a cheap out of me as far as any banter. We're just rolling through them on those support sets, and I feel like we're doing work because we're just trying to squeeze every last minute out before going over, and but yeah, we're really thankful for all those opportunities.
that's cool. I don't know how close you watch it, but when you get one of those opportunities, do you see a noticeable bump in listeners or activity on socials, or is that not a thing?
Yeah, sometimes I've kind of gotten away from uh, watching the streaming stuff a whole lot. I mean, I don't think we've kind of declined. I don't know if it was maybe in like monthly listeners, like over the past 2 years. And I don't know if there was like restructuring. It was like a drastic difference. And I just try not to stew on that stuff too much anymore.
Look at a bigger picture.
Yeah, because it's not. I'm not going to change what I do. So it's like, what can you do? So like, really, the only things I really try to put a lot of stock in is like, with selling tickets and trying to make markets like increase the crowd sizes in markets and make sure we're not sliding off. And because we know the show's good. It's just a matter of are we getting the word out here and there, and I just can't rely on socials to do it. So I gotta spend money on socials, money on social media
On the
ads
people that already follow you. Which is wild. Like, I don't get that, but I mean, I guess I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, we spend money on every show to market it, and that's not something every band thinks of. A lot of, I don't know. I've just decided like not to leave anything, like try to eliminate as many variables as I can myself, and not just hope and wish.
Sure.
Don't plan on the venue having something built in, because and for the most part, like I don't really care to have a built-in crowd. Like I want our people that are into what we do
Jive with you,
be there. I mean, that's like sometimes you get those mixed crowds where it's like they're just expecting something to be ambient. We're not a very ambient kind of band. We're very, very in your face, and it's not because we're like angry or try to be. It's just there's a certain intensity to what we do, and it kind of commands attention. Like, I don't know. I just we're not for everyone, but the people that are into it know that we're doing our best by them.
Absolutely. Well, Soul Gravy, I didn't leave you very much time to talk about Lucero, but we do have a few minutes if you would like to.
I thought I heard a little bit about being mentioned about Ben.
Oh yeah. We're talking about Last Pale Light in the West.
Gotcha. Well, I guess Lucero is kind of the hometown boys. We're kind of argue over where Ben is from between Little Rock and Memphis, but so it is nice, to when people catch that intro song and all that kind of stuff. So I told you beforehand that I got a kick out of that when I saw when you shared this on Instagram, and I saw the Texas and Tennessee song that was cool to me, especially because that's off of a EP too. So that's a little bit of a deep dive.
I've never tried to like replicate what people do, but Lucero is the reason I ever started playing electric guitar. I watched Ben and Rick do The War.
Okay.
And before I spent like a summer getting into Lucero and drive-by truckers, and I really got into just that whole kind of thing, and they're probably one of my favorite bands, and I got to kind of find my voice after that, because I think I used to have a prettier voice, and this is how I sing now, but I've just always appreciated the intensity with how that band operates, and I've always liked the humbleness of it too. I think that's why I was kind of drawn to it. Like, go to a Lucero show and like they're friends with people in the crowd. They're out in the crowd during the opener. Like, that's important shit. Like that's very endearing about a band.
They do get it. Like they 100% get it. You can tell. and they carry themselves as such. When you see, or like as far, just as an example, when a band comes, like, I don't know, American Aquarium or John Moreland or anybody comes through town like that, there's usually a Lucero member
Oh yeah.
at the show. Usually John C. And usually he's had a great time. But still, it's cool to see.
Yeah, and I appreciate like the diversity and the music over the years too.
Yeah,
It's just it's very hard to put in a box, and I dig that. And
every album is a little
yeah,
bit different.
and I just like the songwriting cuts to me. I don't know, it's gritty, and there's just the word choices that Ben uses. I just really dig it. I just really respect his songwriting, and I respect their band. We got to do Casey and I got to go open for Ben on a bike riders show
Okay.
last fall or winter or something, but that was really cool. I mean, I'd much rather I'm more comfortable in a full band setting than playing acoustic, but just intensity wise, but that's still really neat.
Well, I will say, I mean, there are some similarities between what you do and what Ben does. And that's really cool. And also, I mean, I'm relatively, I guess, about a year out as far as finding your music and stuff. And I found out pretty quick that your fan base, the diehards, are pretty intense. They're pretty diehard,
Oh yeah,
which is great.
yeah.
Just one more thing that reminds me of the Lucero crowd, as far
Yep.
as the fans are they're the fans for sure.
Well, that's what it felt so good. Like just like I was talking about earlier, those support slots. It's not so much the feather in the cap. Like I pretty much, it was a venue we played this Black Sheep in Colorado Springs, and we had a pretty good rapport with the venue, and for playing there a couple times, and I saw Ben had it. I was like, this makes no sense. Like I have to play in Montana the next night. Like I'm gonna do this one just because I want to, and see if I can just jump on this show. And I know the local opener thing isn't like it's different when you're picked out by the bands to go do something, and that's different. But I was like, I'll put myself out there and just see if they'll throw me on that, and to have like the crossover, talking with folks after the show that were into it, feels really good because it's like that's the music I care about, and if they dig what I do, that feels pretty good.
Yeah,
There is
definitely.
something to being said for being able to kind of cull your own fans.
Yeah.
That's not everybody has the ability to do that. So shout out to you guys. We do want to respect your
Yep.
time, Soul Gravy. I'm sorry, but I'm
No,
going to
no,
stick
no,
to
go
an
ahead.
hour. This is the rapid fire section, and then Soul Gravy is going to hit you with the
No, I
hard.
don't know. You carried the show tonight. You take the last
Oh, I get
question.
to ask.
I
Do you
didn't
want to
come
ask
in.
rapid fire?
I didn't come. No, you can do. Well,
Okay.
I got a couple I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
So
fire away.
okay, all right. Rapid fire.
I'm
So
terrible at these.
You're going to do great.
okay, if somebody didn't know who Lucero was and you're gonna show them a Lucero song, what's the first pick?
Texas and Tennessee.
Hey,
All right,
Cut.
fair enough.
edit. Perfect.
Got it.
Thank you.
You bet.
All
It's a
right.
good one.
When I say sad song, what's the first song that comes to mind?
Um,
Or when I say sad song, what Lucero song comes to mind?
oh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Across that river.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. I'll just
All
stick
right.
with that because I can't think outside right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then if you could have this is a Talbot question. So if you could have a dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
I did some research on this, and I was like trying to think of something. I guess maybe like Hemingway would be kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's a lot of shitty people throughout history, so I feel like maybe that one might be interesting enough from a like writer's perspective.
Well, and the cool part is you'd already be down at mile zero, so that'd
Oh
be
yeah,
nice.
that'd work. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
All right, I'm going to ask a couple, and then we'll get to the big question.
Yep.
Let's see here. Ideal green room.
Bathroom,
Okay, clean, right?
bathroom, showers, and that's about the extent of my that makes it or breaks it for me. So
All right, very cool. Underloved song of yours. So this can be a little tricky, but I'm sure there's a tune out there that I don't know, that you really are proud of that maybe just hasn't gotten as much fanfare as you'd hoped. And it has to be the one that I picked.
I don't know. I feel like there's so many. They're all in the same kind of like listener. I don't. Ah, shit. Like In the Blood was. I mean, I have the new stuff. Like that was really meaningful to me, and it didn't really do much as far as streaming, but I don't care.
Yeah.
That one's means so much to me and my family.
Cool. Everybody go give In the Blood a listen.
That's right.
Let's fix that if possible.
All right.
I had three. You didn't ask for this, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. Waste of Time, Miles City, and The Saddle Maker.
Oh
I
yeah.
love all three of those. So, I mean, I like
Yeah.
all of them, but those are
Yeah,
three
we
of my favorite.
we do Waste of Time in Miles City every night. I do always do Miles City at the end of towards the end of the show when we kick the band off. But and Waste of Time, I mean, it was definitely a little poppier for what we normally do, but I really like it, and it's about it's real stuff. It's just me missing my kids,
Yeah.
and my wife.
Yeah, for sure. Those are all great. But all right, first concert that you attended, and then the first concert that you paid to see.
I think the first like real big one was like Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I paid for that one. Yeah,
It can be 2 and 1, so you knock that out.
yeah.
Bucket list venue, venue that you haven't played yet that you would really enjoy playing.
I mean, I think everybody think like Red Rocks is crazy. I mean, that's a big one.
Yeah.
We've been lucky to play, even in support capacity, like Green Hall, and like Green Hall was one of those for me. Yeah, I don't really have a whole. I mean, I feel like we play all over, and the curtain's been pulled for me for a lot of things. So like, I think the Red Rocks would probably be one that you're like, you kind of.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's a whole nother
Yeah.
another check. But yeah, after doing that one in Denver, it was so big. I was like, just kind of like takes the pressure off for a lot of things. Even though it's not our show, our headline thing, it kind of puts a lot of things in perspective. And we play the same thing, or try to do the same no matter what it is. So yeah, I'd say Red Rocks probably.
Cool. Did you hit the Willie door at Green?
I didn't. We were support, and
gotcha.
we're going back to Green. I think in May with Carson Jeffrey. So maybe we'll have
Nice.
to make the scoot.
Very cool. All right. Last one, tribute bands, yay or nay?
Not into it.
Not into it. All right, fair enough.
Like, I was gonna. I know he did the album at Bucks, and but can you talk about? I mean, Bucks, not necessarily just specifically, but those venues like Bucks that really do that thing for the artist, and the artists love playing for those people. And can you talk about kind of what that means? Because I mean, me and Steve have both talked about trying to get venue owners on, like that on, like Bird's Nest and
Sure.
all those kinds of folks like that.
We're going to Bird's Nest this
I was
year. I've
thinking so.
never been. So
Very cool.
yeah, those are special places that they are definitely a labor of love by the ownership, and for every big, every show of theirs that has it gets a lot of social media buzz and this and that, and as much as people regard them, bands included, like they're eating shit a lot.
Right.
They're spending they're spending money on a lot of nights just to keep it going, and like I've probably played Bucks more than any other venue that I've played, and it's like Buck and I are friends, and he's always done right by us, and it's just it is a business, but they put so much extra into those places like that, where to build a scene and to build like an audience that's receptive to those kind of things, because it is different. I mean, at Bucks you play on the floor, like it is, like the bathrooms are terrible. the food's good.
Yeah,
It's just a honky tonk.
The food and the people are great.
that's all you
and there's no huff and puff about it. But that's why it was really cool for us to do the live album there. It's like, there's no light show. There's nothing that's going to inflate this more than what it is. And for good or bad, that comes across in the album, and yeah, so I've just always really appreciated people like Buck and Tara and mom and pop operations that put a lot of love and spend a lot of money, because just like with the podcast thing, and this is just to stroke you guys too, but when people do these things that they're not always like, they eat up your time with your family, like it's not financially beneficial to most people to support bands and to do these little side quests like this,
little passion projects.
Yeah.
Dodge tornadoes.
Yeah, but it makes a big difference to us, and especially bands like running in the space that we're in, where like there's not a whole ton of leg ups out there, and we're not like looking for them, but people doing like, I don't know what the saying is, like small acts of kindness, and like you can make a big difference in people's lives, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can just be just some effort on the side, and so we appreciate it.
Yeah, cool.
So make sure we always mention this stuff. Make sure you go to follow Kenny on his socials, follow him where you stream your music, all that stuff. But also go to a show, buy some merch.
Buy a
But
t-shirt, koozie.
and then like what he mentioned though, as far as those small venues, if you happen to be in those areas where those venues exist, go. You might not know some of these artists that are rolling through, but go give them a chance and give the venue a chance and meet the owners. And I got a feeling if you notice what they do and you get it, you'll be back.
Yeah, gamble on them like they know what they're doing, and there's some incredible bands that roll through there that are going to have quarter capacity, and it's just a matter of just timing. It's like my friends Ronnie and the Redwoods here, one of the best live shows around, and they hit the pavement hard, but like not everybody knows who they are. I mean, and it's like a show that it blows my mind. It's take it from me, like it sucks to follow those guys. Like they're incredible.
Yep.
And so like there's plenty of people and bands like that out there that you just gotta give them a shot, and people did it for us, so we appreciate anyone taking a shot on us too.
Very cool.
I was lucky enough to just meet Ronnie this past Saturday.
Oh,
So,
sweet.
it's the first time I'd seen him. I mean, I'd heard him, but I hadn't seen him. And so Dustin, who's been on the podcast, a guy named Dustin Perkins,
Okay.
was opening for Ronnie, and he's like, "Hey, that's Ronnie." I'm like, yeah, I figured it out. Anyway, Yeah, super cool. Well, this
Yeah.
obviously, thank you for your time tonight. But before we get to the very end, this most important question. It started on episode number 1 and has now become a tradition. So we're forced to ask it. But Kenny, what is your favorite Little Debbie snack?
Uh, Man, I don't eat a lot of sweets.
That's all right.
Swiss roll?
Yeah, Swiss roll's a
Okay.
good answer.
All right.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Swiss roll's kind of making a little bit of a comeback in the
Throwback.
last couple
Yeah.
weeks. So shout
Yeah.
out to Little Debbie. We're still here and available for sponsorship, Little Debbie.
Oh,
I'm
I
sure
saw your
Kenny
I saw
is,
your logo. I didn't realize that was a common question. I saw one of the memes with the chubby
Oh, the
Yeah.
shirt.
little
Oh,
Debbie.
yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I got her now.
Now it
That
makes
makes
sense.
sense. Okay.
Cool. Well, thank you all for watching tonight. We appreciate your time. Safe travels to Portland. And
Thank
if y'all
you.
are anywhere near Kenny, get out and go say hi and enjoy a kick-ass show. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
yep. See y'all. Take care. Adios. Thanks, Soul Gravy. Glad you're safe.